wrong with being a redneck. Austin and I are rednecks. We just look good doing it. But in case you're curious as to my redneck credibility, or even your own for that matter, you need to look at your family. And that'll tell you a little bit about yourself. Last year we went to Alaska, and my aunt decided to come along. And she was flying up from Texas, but she was detained by airport security for a tub of lard. That's redneck.
No, that's good.
Now, there's a reason she had a tub of lard. She didn't trust Alaska to have all the ingredients she needed for biscuits and gravy. That's the redneck cheering right now. If you think biscuits and gravy is weird, or you think white gravy is weird, just go to Canada. Some Canadians here.
Poutine uses brown gravy.
I know, and I love poutine. But there's a time and place for brown gravy. Now, I suppose you've all heard that we were recently picketed by the Westboro Baptist Church. The most important milestone in my career so far. And so I won't really get into that. I'm sure you've heard it. I had been threatening to kiss a dude just to piss them off for the past week or so. And last night I did it. And that dude is Chris Rupp. And I think he has some questions about himself at this point. So we were at a casino recently. No. Didn't play.
Our bus driver did, though.
Yeah, that's true. Our bus driver one day. But they gave us access to the employee cafeteria. And so we got to go through there and eat basically whatever the casino had to offer. All the restaurants in the casino just sent their food there and you get to have it. And I wandered through it, I don't know, had breakfast about 3 p.m. or so. And I got to the self-serve bacon. And I did what all of you would do. And I heaped it onto my plate. And then I got to the cashier, who was keeping track of what we were having even though we didn't have to pay. And she said, and I quote, "How many bacons?" And I was taken aback. Because I've never heard bacon pluralized like that before. But also, I didn't really want to give her that number. I said, 4 or 5 tongs full. She said, "No, how many bacons?" Well, that's a weird policy to have. But if that is your policy, you should post that by the bacons. All bacons sold separately. Because not only would that have saved me some embarrassment, it would have also just helped me to make a better life choice in general. And so I've adopted that as sort of just a motto in general as I go through life, remembering to make good decisions. I think, Tim, count the bacons. And I encourage y'all to take that with you. I want to close out tonight with a segment called Knock It Off. Oh, some of you are already breaking your agreement we made earlier.
Thank you. Well, so much.
So these are some observations about human behavior that you should all knock off. And it's broken up into two sections. It's Hey, old people.
Hey.
Hey, young people. And I'm gonna let you decide where you fall in there. That's not for me to decide. Hey, old people. Stop taking pictures and video with iPads. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. That applies to a lot of things in life, like anchovies on pizza.
Yes, thank you.
You're holding up something the size of a dictionary in a live show over your head with people sitting behind you. Or even worse, it's lower and it's illuminating your dumb face. Knock it off. Hey, young people. Stop saying literally every sentence.
Like why?
Do you know what literally means?
No. They don't.
It literally makes me want to kick you in the teeth. Knock it off. Hey, buddy.
I feel weird because I want to be his hype man so bad. I got a microphone. I got presents to go open. What?
Hey, old people. Stop going on Facebook, or any social media for that matter, once a month and liking everything that has happened since you last on Facebook. Mom. That's not true. It's not my mom. It's some other family members. But some of you do that, I can tell by your reaction. Oh, cool, I've got 50 notifications. Something cool must have happened. Nope. Grandma just went on Facebook. And since we're on the subject of social media, hey, young people. Stop asking me to follow you. What do you do on any given day that I need to know about? Knock it off. Hey, old people. Stop telling young people that they won't use algebra in real life. That's simply not true. Hey, young people. Stop giving up on algebra. You will use it in real life. Maybe not literally. You probably won't come across equations. But the forward thinking and problem solving involved in algebra can be applied to everyday life, and you need to be able to do that. And if nothing else, it sharpens your brain in general and just makes you a better person. So many of you that have been giving up on math, knock it off. Yep. They agree to the ground rules. Hey, all people. You're obsessed with your cell phones. I'm guilty of some of this too. Knock it off.
So that makes them old.
Words with friends is probably the most hilariously ironic misnomer I've ever heard in my life. How about exchanging some actual audible words with tangible, visible friends? Right? Now, I've seen it too many times. Younger family members or my friends' kids. You guys need to learn to navigate an actual verbal interaction. Some guy's chatting up a young lady on Twitter or Snapchat, and he's charming and he's witty, so they go on a date, and he's an awkward Neanderthal. Not because that's who he actually is, but just because he doesn't have his digital blinky. And this will carry over into your adulthood, into your schooling, into job interviews, into parenting, which brings me to old people. Put down your phones and do some actual parenting. Or grandparenting, for that matter. Been there, done that, she said.
I'm done. They're 40.
Well, if your kids are 40, they didn't have to really worry about you hanging out on your cell phone when they were kids.
Happy's the babysitter.
Anyway, I just think that's a good rule for everyone. And for God's sake, stop photographing everything. Some of you are probably doing it right now. When's the last time you just existed in the moment?
Right now, last night.
Took it in. Maybe even remembered it for a change. Someone comes up to us every show inevitably and says, wow, my computer doesn't do you guys justice. Or, I thought you were good on the sing-off until I saw you in person. You really have to experience it in person. And that's true. You have to experience it without placing a device between you and the experience. Besides, it doesn't do it justice, does it? So you're cheapening your current experience so you can watch a crappier version of it later. What the hell's that all about? And I'd be willing to bet that that's the root of Alzheimer's. Now, granted, I'm only a part-time, unpaid doctor, scientist, historian, but I'm pretty sure the advent of Alzheimer's coincides with the invention of the camera. Because at some point in time, your brain said, well, this asshole's gonna document everything. I don't have to remember shit. And you stop doing math. So I'm leaving you with all these pearls of wisdom, and I'm sure that we're all better for this little chat we had. Go forth into the world, put down your cell phones, do your algebra, and count the bacons. wrong with being a redneck.